because it is the place where these aggressions are very much on the surface. Maybe because it is the closest bond we have. With all due respect to the father, the closest bond, I think, is with our mother. And it is natural that our greatest difficulty is with her as well. It is very common to find children who have a hidden hatred for their mother, a hidden hatred for their father, and do not have the psychological conditions to assume this aversion, because in the name of this romantic love we are raised with, that a child should never oppose their mother, that a child should never say, "I hate you." It is natural that at a certain moment in life, our aggressiveness makes us experience this hatred towards the people we love most. Because hatred is the opposite of love. It's the same thing. Psychology teaches us that love and hatred come from the same impulse, the same source. So, managing this aggressiveness today is a necessity, because you must have seen this happen many times, that sometimes a person is capable of pulling out a gun and killing another person in traffic because of the intolerance of that moment of aggressiveness. So, for us not to need to kill each other, for us not to go around slapping each other, we need to discover where we can channel this blessed aggressiveness in the right way, in a positive way. If you have a lot of aggressiveness in you, channel this aggressiveness to work in your favor. Your creative process, your dynamic, your entrepreneurial spirit, channel it there. This is not magical. It is not overnight, but with awareness, I know I am aggressive. So I need to be careful that my aggressiveness doesn't end up harming others. I personally asked God during this Lent for the gift of silence, And it's not just the silence of speech. It's the silence of, the written word, that need to immediately respond to others, to everything that bothers you, to everything you find invasive. I want to have the right to be silent. I don't want to have to explain everything all the time. This is a right we need to preserve. At home, sometimes it's like this. Sometimes in a relationship, how many times are you demanded by the other? You have the right to be silent. You have the right to make your silence. And the other needs to understand that your silence might be the moment you are taking care, not to say what you wouldn't want to say. So, the control of this aggressiveness today needs to go through this experience of inner life, as we talked about in the previous segment. The inner life, this experience of cultivating who you are, of having your moment of relaxation every day, even if it's just 10 minutes, folks. I particularly think it must be very difficult to live in a very crowded house where you don't have the right to your personal silence. Isn't it difficult? You who live with many people in the house. At home, I have my space. There are the people who work with me, my friends who visit my house, the people from my close circle, my family. But I am very reserved. When I want my silence, I don't even make an effort to be polite. Look, folks, I'm leaving. I withdraw because I need this spiritual life, this inner life, because otherwise I become worse than I already am. And I don't want to. I don't want to be worse than I am. I don't want to get worse. I don't want to move backward. I want to move forward. So I want to discover everything in my behavior, in my choices that will favor my progress. You need to do the same thing. It's your right. But here at home, it's difficult. Create your space. Create your routine. Discover in your daily life a way to cultivate this inner life. Some people read the gospel of the day. I think the gospel of the day is an excellent way to create inner life. Because when you commit to reading the gospel of the day, you have the daily liturgy. You can follow it through the Bible in year A, year B, year C. You read the gospel of the day, you stay in communion with Jesus' word, and at the same time, create your 10, 15 minutes. You read the gospel and make your reflection, your moment of silence, which will help a lot in controlling this aggressiveness. Then there are other things that help as well. Physical activity, as we have already mentioned. The prayer group, the sharing group, reading. My God, how a book calms us down, folks. Books are fantastic. Blessed is the person who learned from childhood the pleasure of reading. They will be much more peaceful in old age. We continue tomorrow in the next video. Complete conference links in the description.